October 23rd, 2025, the day the NBA's image cracked forever. Federal agents stormed arenas, locker rooms, and private residences. Head coaches were cuffed, players were questioned, phones buzzed, contracts froze, and one name echoed through every sports broadcast: Chauncey Billups. Within hours, headlines exploded. NBA coach and player arrested in Mafia gambling scandal. And then came the rumor that sent social media into meltdown: secret footage of NBA stars begging cops not to arrest them. It sounded like a movie. But this wasn't fiction. This was the biggest gambling scandal in basketball history, a story that would drag NBA legends, organized crime families, and millions of dollars into a single, terrifying spotlight. Tonight we reveal how it all unraveled. October 23rd started like any other preseason morning. Fans were counting down to the NBA tip-off. Players were traveling, prepping, tweeting. Then came the sirens. The FBI announced a historic multi-state operation, coordinated across 11 states and involving the NYPD, Homeland Security, and the U.S. Attorney's Office. At the center of it, Portland Trail Blazers coach Chauncey Billups and Miami Heat guard Terry Rozier. Two respected figures, two very different careers, now both accused of helping build one of the most sophisticated sports crime syndicates ever uncovered. When FBI Director Kash Patel stepped to the podium, reporters knew this was no minor bust. He said,
"And the fraud is mind-boggling. It's not hundreds of dollars. It's not thousands of dollars. It's not tens of thousands of dollars. It's not even millions of dollars. We're talking about tens of millions of dollars in fraud and theft and robbery across a
certain NBA players and coaches leaked sensitive information: who was injured, who was resting, who would get limited minutes, to private betting rings. With that knowledge, those rings placed massive prop bets: points, rebounds, minutes, or even fake injury exits. They weren't gambling. They were printing money. Players allegedly received kickbacks for the information. Text messages recovered from encrypted apps showed players telling associates to watch for an early exit or bet under tonight. This wasn't casual betting. It was corporate-level fraud, a multi-million-dollar criminal blueprint hiding in plain sight. Running parallel was something far darker. Operation Royal Flush. Federal prosecutors exposed a network of rigged poker games run by four of New York's most feared crime families: the Bonanno, Gambino, Genovese, and Lucchese syndicates. Their strategy? Recruit celebrities and athletes as face cards to make the games look legitimate. Chauncey Billups was allegedly one of them. Imagine getting invited to a high-stakes poker night at a luxury penthouse and hearing that the legendary Mr. Big Shot would be there. You'd never suspect the game was rigged. But it was. FBI agents later found custom Deckmate 2 shuffling machines with hidden cameras and RFID readers inside. Every card's position was scanned and transmitted to a quarterback in another room, who fed real-time info to conspirators wearing earpieces or using coded signals. Some games even used X-ray tables and marked decks visible only through special contact lenses. Victims never stood a chance. Over $715 million was stolen through these games. One victim alone lost $1.8 million in a single night. Billups, a Hall of Famer, NBA champion, Finals MVP, and beloved coach, was the last person anyone expected to see in an indictment. But the description of co-conspirator 8 in federal court filings matched him exactly. A former NBA player from 1997 to 2014, an Oregon resident, and a head coach since 2021. Prosecutors believe Billups tipped gamblers that the Trailblazers planned to arrest Damian Lillard, Yusuf Nurkic, Jerami Grant, and Anthony Simons before a March 24, 2023 game against the Bulls. The result? Portland lost by 28 points. Those with the inside tip made six-figure profits overnight. If proven true, it wasn't just a mistake. It was a betrayal of everything the game stands for. Then came the revelation that left fans stunned. Prosecutors accused Terry Rozier of intentionally faking injuries to manipulate betting outcomes. On March 23, 2023, while still with Charlotte, Rozier allegedly texted a childhood friend saying he'd check out early, shoulder acting up. That night, he played just 9 minutes and 34 seconds before walking off the court. The betting syndicate, already holding insider prop bets on Rozier's understats, cashed in over $200,000. Court documents say the cash was later delivered straight to Rozier's own home, where the group counted it together. The footage of his exit has since gone viral, fans analyzing every step, wondering if they were watching a planned act rather than a genuine injury. The scale of this operation stunned investigators. The FBI traced money trails across crypto wallets, shell companies, and offshore accounts. They found hidden transmitters inside poker tables, surveillance equipment in luxury suites, and coded communications between players and bookies. But perhaps most chilling were the enforcement tactics used when victims couldn't pay. These weren't polite phone calls. Victims were followed, threatened, even robbed at gunpoint. In one case, mobsters allegedly broke into a property just to recover a rigged shuffler before the FBI could find it. This wasn't white-collar gambling, it was the Mafia, updated for the digital age. After the arrests, social media exploded with rumors that the FBI had video footage of NBA players begging Billups not to name them during interrogation. It went viral instantly. Memes, fake screenshots, AI-generated clips flooding TikTok and Twitter. But here's the truth. No such footage exists. Federal filings, press briefings, and verified court documents contain zero evidence of any players being filmed begging or confessing. It was internet hysteria feeding off the shock of real arrests. Still, that rumor captured something deeper, the fear spreading through the league. Because if two respected veterans like Billups and Rozier could fall, who else might be involved? Within hours of the announcement, both men were placed on indefinite leave. The Portland Trail Blazers appointed assistant coach Tiago Splitter as interim head coach. The Miami Heat announced Rozier would not play pending investigation. On Inside the NBA, the reaction was raw. Shaquille O'Neal admitted,
I know everybody that's at play, and I don't like to sit up here and be hypocritical about certain
break. Charles Barkley didn't hold back. This ain't addiction, this is stupidity. You're making $26 million a year and you risk it all for $50,000 on a prop bet? Come on, man. Kenny Smith offered another angle, saying gambling addiction can cloud judgment, making even millionaires chase more. Their debate reflected what fans were asking. Was it greed, addiction, or something darker? Manipulation from people far more dangerous than anyone realized. This scandal hit the NBA at the worst possible moment. Since the 2018 Supreme Court ruling that legalized sports betting nationwide, gambling has become part of the game. Apps like FanDuel, DraftKings, and BetMGM sponsor broadcasts, teams, and even in-arena scoreboards. Odds are displayed on live TV. Prop bets are marketed like highlights. And while that integration made billions in revenue, it also blurred the line between fandom and fixation. The NBA had introduced monitoring systems to catch unusual betting activity, but even those couldn't stop an operation involving insiders, encrypted tech, and the Mafia itself. Now league officials are scrambling to rewrite the rules, tighter injury reports, restrictions on prop bets involving bench players, and possibly new federal oversight on betting transparency. Federal prosecutors warn that this case is not over. They're still investigating possible college basketball links, overseas betting apps, and other professional sports figures connected to the same networks. As for Billups and Rozier, they each face multiple federal counts, including wire fraud and money laundering conspiracy, charges that carry up to 20 years per count. Even with plea deals, they could spend years behind bars and be permanently banned from the NBA. And for the league, the damage goes beyond money or reputation. It's a question of trust between players, fans, and the game itself. The same game that once symbolized competition and brotherhood is now battling its biggest enemy yet, corruption. So when fans saw those viral headlines about NBA players begging cops not to arrest them, maybe it wasn't real footage, but the desperation behind it, that's very real. Because when the lights go out and the feds come knocking, no amount of fame, money, or championships can save you. If you made it this far, hit that like button, drop a comment, and tell us, Do you think the NBA can ever recover from this level of scandal? Make sure to subscribe for more deep dive sports stories because the investigation isn't over and the next name might be even bigger.